Unfortunately, like I said, I was sick, so it took me a little while to get around to this. But you watched the game, and what a game it was, though. I mean, I've seen a couple highlights here and there, but wow, what a big win for Calgary.
Yeah, no, it was a really big win. I think it mostly came down to who wanted it more.
Yeah, definitely a grinder type game, and
Yeah.
most teams, you think if you keep your team under, you can keep the opposing team under 10, you're going to win the game, and that didn't prove true for them tonight. But Nick Rose is huge. But I mean, Del Bianco, really, I think it comes down to the transition goals. I feel like you guys got more transition goals.
Yeah, no, totally. There was a few transition goals for sure.
Yeah. So the game happened February 10th. After the first quarter, it was 4-2. Why don't you walk us through who the goal scorers were?
Yeah, so Calgary came out swinging. We got Jesse King, Harrison Mascano times two. Two it looks like. Once on the power play, and R. Hudson.
Yeah. And, coming up, Corey Smalls, who scored for Toronto, his stick has been unbelievably hot. So it's not completely surprising to see that you got the production out of him that they did. I think what was a little more surprising was the way that Calgary's defense was able to shut down Tom Schreiber and, not give up a lot of good opportunities. And there was probably the normal 4 or 5 like really good goal scoring opportunities that Delbs was able to shut down about half of. So I mean that Delbs is stepped up huge.
Yeah, no, Delp stepped up. You'll see with a few goals later, nobody necessarily scored the majority of the goals. It was that next man up mentality.
Yeah, which works so good for Calgary, and it's nice to see that as they switch coaches and Coach Sanderson coming through. I mean, you got to be pretty happy with the new coach and how things are going for you guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. And even the week before, like we said, managed to keep up with Toronto most of the previous game too,
Yeah,
despite the outcome.
yeah, no, and when you look through, I think one of the big things is they did not allow Toronto to go on a 3 goal run until right towards the end, and then they were just kind of able to hold on like in grin and bear it basically until they made it through.
Yeah, no, that last quarter for sure, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the next quarter, that Hayden Dickinson goal was absolutely gorgeous. He just
Yeah.
smacks the bottom hand, pops the loose ball out of his hands, and gets it right in front of the crease. And to be able to finish it and keep his feet out of the crease, wow, what a goal that was. And then Shane Simpson, that transition, you're not going to shut it down completely. They're just too good.
Yeah, no. Sh- Shane's on their level for sure.
Yeah, he definitely is. Definitely one of the fastest players, and he gets up to speed
Yeah.
so fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then so we're leaving the second quarter. You had Mark Matthews, Lintner, and Desnew, and really that was the biggest. That was a big quarter for Toronto trying to get back, but Calgary able to, every other goal or every 2 goals, able to at least stay on the board with Shane Simpson towards the end of the quarter, and then we get into the third quarter, and that was a beauty for you guys.
Yeah, no, we had 4 goals this quarter, and Toronto had none. So the 4 goals were Hudson, Masanoka, Josh Courier, and Jesse King.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Zach Courier still not on the board yet.
No, I don't. I
I don't
think he's been scoreless so far this
He
season.
has been. And we talked about it before. A big part of that is the way he comes out and he decides sometimes not to take it, or he's more
Yeah.
that breakout guy looking to hit the guy off the bench. He's got plenty of assists and he's been playing great
Yep.
there, but last year you were coming to expect it. And I wonder if a lot of that is because he's taking so many faceoffs.
Yeah, that could definitely be it for sure. But
Yeah.
Zach is an all-around type player. You can put him anywhere and he'll succeed for the most part.
Yeah, no, I was really impressed to watch him against some of these top faceoff guys that he doesn't necessarily win the clamp, but he never really loses cleanly. They don't get it and run away from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the fourth quarter, oh my goodness, that so you start the fourth quarter, you're on the man down. Corey Small scores 2 more, and you're like, wow, you got to be thinking at this point does pretty much every shot Corey Smalls takes go in the back of the net?
Yeah, I know. That was for sure a question that came to mind.
Yeah, yeah, no, he has been on a different level. His stick has been unbelievably hot. He ended up with 5 goals, but I'll let you run us through who the rest of the goals were for Toronto.
All right, Toronto had Corey Smalls 3 goals total, twice on the power play. Jay Martin, Matt, and Matthews.
Yeah. No, that was that Josh Martin is really good. He's a transition style player. I got to watch him play over the summer in one of the tournaments that we filmed. He was great. I mean, but Hogarth scoring that, at the right time with the assist
Yeah.
from Pace and King, that's got to be big too because he's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, no, Hogarth has been pretty quiet, but ever since com coming off an injury this year, he's been getting assists.
Yeah, he's been getting assisted. He's starting to step up with some of those inside goals. He had that pickup in the crease last week, which was an amazing highlight.
Yeah.
And then, so you guys kind of split it with Toronto. You were able to go to Toronto and kind of back it up. That's a huge, that was a huge win for
Yeah.
you guys as far as the standings go as well. We'll get into that in a little bit. But before we do, I'll let you go through your top stuff.
Okay, top goal getters of the night were Harrison Masamoka for Calgary with 2 goals. Corey Small had 5 total for Toronto.
And that's you always talk about it, that next man up mentality. You see,
Yep.
Matsuoka, the leading goal scorer with 2 goals. So often on this team, you don't have like one or two guys that get a hat trick and nobody else, gets on the board. It's nice because when guys get cold, it allows you to continue to play and be able to win.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I just said, top goal scorer for Calgary only had 2 goals.
Yeah,
So you're right. It's a lot of that next man up mentality. Who's going to score?
yeah, absolutely. And then so the top assist for the night, you had your captain and leader.
Jesse King, yeah, with 3. And then for Toronto, we had Kalen Rogers with 4.
Yeah, Rogers is such a great defensive player. He gets up the floor. He's a big transition guy. And loose balls, and this is where, as we were talking about, Zach Courier might not have scored as much, but
Yeah.
him taking the face off, and he ended up with 14 for the night. That is a huge, he it's really setting him apart. And it's almost, some people talk about it's unfair to have the face off guys' stats count the same way. How do you feel about that? I mean, I think it's just as important because either way, a loose ball is a loose ball.
Yeah, no, totally. I think you're right. A loose ball is a loose ball.
Absolutely. And then TD Ireland had 10 on the night. And then I'll let you go on to the saves and then the fun facts because that's one of my favorite topics.
Uh, yeah, Callie had. Oh, sorry, you already said saves.
No, no, no. I said you go on with the saves. You tell me, so you had.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Callie had 48 on Nick Rose. 48 shots on Nick Rose, and Toronto had 54 shots on Delps.
Yeah, and that is just crazy. Delbs, you look at that, and with that many more shots, I say it all the time. It really comes down to 3 or 4 big saves. In this case,
Yeah.
he had 5 more saves than Nick Rose did, and it's always such a thin margin of really how that works. And then Christian Del Bianco, up to his 7th assist this season. I love it because you were the only person that keeps track of the goalie assist.
Yeah, no. 7 assists this season, which means another 500 to Kid Sport, thanks to Adjacent Consulting.
Yeah, that's huge. So you're talking 7 times 5 is $3,500. That is wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge shout out to them for contributing to that. Huge shout out to Delbs, and nice to see he was back in top form.
Yeah, no, and then so with 7 assists, the total now sits at 3,500.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And the next games are for Calgary. We have our East Coast Kitchen Party tomorrow at the time of this recording.
So, what is the East Coast Kitchen Party?
So it's a Halifax game, and they make it kind of like East Coast, like ocean themed. So there's a cod you can kiss, and there's some food or whatever.
Nice. So it's just kind of a little tribute to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and New York, Toronto was playing New York in Montreal.
Yes, the unbox game.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting. It'll be interesting to see. I would imagine they're going to have a ton of fans there.
Yeah, no. Because when did the Montreal Express leave, Greg? Do you know?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'll Google it up. But yeah, no, it's been a while, and I think that's really gonna be cool because if they're talking about, I wouldn't be too surprised if this goes well if they move a team there, and you really got to wonder when you know because New York, you look at some of these games, and then Albany, you look at some of them, and you're like, what is going on, guys? We need more fans in the seats. So it's been 20 years since they've moved.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy, especially when you consider that the Montreal is basically one of the birthplaces of lacrosse. So it's yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, they dropped out in 2002, so it's actually been 22 years
Oh
since.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. Should be a great game. I'm super excited. Now, you guys this week, you're playing Halifax, though. That is
Yeah.
a huge mark because when you look through the standings, you know, you've got a lot of teams sitting at that 3 game win, which is where Calgary is right now. And Halifax has 5. So, a win here not only limits them, but then moves them up to 4. And now you guys can start moving up the list a little bit. I had to say, Panther City taking that 8th spot, they have looked pretty good.
Yeah. No, Panther City. I haven't actually got to watch many of the Panther City games so far, but yeah, that's good that they're doing good.
Yeah, no, and if the season was to end right now, Panther City would be the last team in there, just above the Saskatchewan Rush, and everybody else below them. So they're the last team. They've got a 500 record, and they're sitting in 8th. And
Oh wow.
as you look through the rest of it, you see, 3-5, 3-5, 2-6, 3-6, 2-7. The Warriors. What do you how you think things are going for Coach Miloski as he's moved from Calgary over to Vancouver?
I think anytime your coach really transitions teams, there's going to be some wiggle room to grow.
Yeah, definitely going to go through some growing pains. They had a fairly good showing against Georgia, and then unfortunately they weren't able to follow it up, and beat Saskatchewan, but that moved them up a little bit. But yeah, no, huge game for you guys this weekend. Huge game for
Yeah.
Albany. This is going to be a big test. They've been on a bit of a skid, and
Hmm.
yeah, now when you look at Toronto, also they've lost too. So both of
Hmm.
the six win teams have lost. San Diego sitting at 6-3, and I got it. Did you happen to catch any of that New York San Diego game?
No, I did not.
That game was nuts.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
yeah, New York was able to shut down their offense, and their defense is so good, and Cam Dunkerley's playing better. It's been pretty exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, but all right, we should probably wrap her up. This is our fast live. We'll be back to our regular show and the replays next week and get recorded. Hopefully, my stomach bug is gone now, so things should be
Mhm.
getting better. As always, Owen, thank you so